Today I have 10 phrasal verbs that you will come across in almost every conversation. Conversations with your friends, with your neighbours, with your colleagues. These are very, very common phrasal verbs that you are almost definitely going to come across at some point in your English language journey. Wow, that's a sweet coffee. Don't usually like that much sugar in my coffee, but anyway. So I'm sure you've been in a situation where you've been speaking casually with a friend, a native English speaker maybe, and they've said something that doesn't quite make sense. The words individually make sense, but together you're not sure the meaning. This is a phrasal verb. For example, grow and apart is our first phrasal verb. You know the word grow and you know the word apart. But what does it mean when we put them together? Well, to grow apart is exactly as you imagine. You are growing away from each other. And why would you do this? Well, let's say, for example, you have a friend that you have known since school. You were very close. You always hung out together. You always spent time together, but you both chose different career paths. You both live in different cities, and maybe you married very different people. So you grew apart. It's not intentional. You don't dislike each other, but it's just something that happens as we get older. We lose our friends, we make new friends, we lose contact with our friends. You could also describe a relationship in this way. Our relationship ended because we grew apart. We changed as people, but we didn't change in the same direction. We changed in different ways. I can give you an example that might help make this clearer. I moved to a different country when I was quite young, and although my friends still talk to me, we still message each other, when we go back home, it's not the same experience because we've changed, we've grown. I've had very different experiences to them, and they've had very different experiences to me. So we grew apart. Hang on, hang on. Now this has two meanings. To hang on to something or someone means to physically keep it in your life. Now, we might not mean literally hold it, but let's say, for example, I'm cleaning out my cupboards and I have a lot of paperwork from when I used to work at a school. And somebody says, do you want to hang on to this? Meaning, do you want to keep this? Do you want to keep it for the future? You might need it. And I say, no, I don't need to hang on to that anymore. It means to keep something in your life. You can use the same expression with people. I want to hang on to our friendship. You're very good for me. Meaning I want to keep you around in my life. My friend asked me to hang on to his clothes, his winter clothes for him. He's just moved to a new country. He doesn't need winter clothes. It's sunny all the time there. But I am hanging on to them for him just in case he comes back. So I'm keeping them safe. The second meaning of hang on, and I'm sure you've heard this, is when someone says, hang on a moment. Or, Catherine, can I ask you a question? Yep, just hang on 1 second. Hang on a moment, hang on a second, hang on a minute. It just means wait. Wait a moment, wait a minute, wait a second. You're telling the person, yes, I will help you, I will answer your question, but I need some time to finish whatever it is I'm doing first. Give in. Give in. Sometimes we have to do things in our life that we don't necessarily want to do. And we might say, I gave in and did this last weekend. I want to paint the room yellow, but my husband wants to paint the room red. I gave in and now we have a red room. My children were arguing. They wanted to eat McDonald's, but I wanted them to eat something healthier. Eventually, I gave in and bought them McDonald's. So to give to give in, past tense gave in, is to give up your opinion on something. I feel this way, you feel that way, but I don't want to keep arguing or cause any stress, so I'm going to just give in. But the understanding is it's not my idea, it's not what I want, but I'm giving in so that you can feel happy, you can feel satisfied. You can kind of use it as a joke as well. Maybe someone says to you, "Oh, do you want to come out on Friday?" And you don't, you're tired, you want to go home and sleep. But they don't stop asking you, "Come on, come out, it will be fun. Come and spend some time with us." You can say, "Okay, I give in, let's go." So the idea is, I didn't really want to go, but to please you, okay, sure, I will go. Now, how is this different to give up, which is something you hear a lot? I gave up, I give up. Give up means to abandon or stop or not do something because it was too difficult or you don't want to do it anymore or it's bad for you. For example, to give up smoking, to stop, to quit smoking. I give up going out on the weekends. I want to make sure I am rested for work on Monday morning. I'm finding it very difficult to get a new job, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep looking. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to abandon my search for a new job. I'm going to keep looking. Whereas give in just means you agree to stop an argument or the discussion going any further. So if I say I gave in and took the job, the idea is that maybe I was against it, but they convinced me, they showed me why the job was a good idea, and I said, okay, fine, I'll take it. But if I say, I give up, I'm not looking for a job, I give up looking for a job, it means I completely stopped searching. I don't want to keep looking for a job. Breakthrough. Now we can use this in a couple of different ways, but breakthrough means to achieve something. Maybe something you've been trying for a long time and it hasn't worked, and you say, I finally had a breakthrough, meaning finally what you're trying to achieve has happened. So if you like shows about detectives and the police and crime shows, they will always say something like, we've had a breakthrough in the case. Meaning they had no idea who did the crime, but for some reason, something has come up that led them to who did the crime, or someone that knows someone that did the crime. It's a breakthrough because for a long time they had no idea, and now suddenly they have an idea. I might describe a relationship with someone as suddenly having a breakthrough. Maybe I'm trying to make a new friend and they don't trust me or they don't understand why I'm messaging them, contacting them. But finally they say, oh, you seem like a nice person. Shall we go for a picnic on the weekend? It's a breakthrough. I've achieved something. At work, you might have a breakthrough. Maybe you're working on a project that is taking a very long time and doesn't seem to be moving forwards. I had a breakthrough at work means this thing I've been working on for a long time has finally taken a step forward. I can finally see the end of the tunnel, the light ahead. I can see a future, a way forwards with this project. You could also talk about hoping for a breakthrough. Maybe you see a friend that you haven't seen for a long time and you ask them, how's it going with your new business? Yeah, we're hoping for a breakthrough soon. We've seen a rise in sales and we're hoping this means we have a breakthrough in the market or we have a breakthrough soon, meaning we achieve something that we have been trying to achieve for a long time. Brush off. Now, this is a good example of how a phrasal verb could be confusing because I'm sure you know the word brush and to brush your hair or your pet or your house. But to brush off or to brush something off means to dismiss or ignore. So if I was to say, my boss brushed me off or I approached my manager with a new idea, but they brushed me off. I mean, they ignore me, or maybe they answered me, they did speak to me, but they weren't that interested in my idea. I could tell they were not interested in what I had to say. How did it go on the weekend with your mother-in-law or your father-in-law? It was okay, but I could tell they were brushing me off. They were not really that interested in me being there or talking to me. Maybe you have teenage children. You could describe them as brushing you off all the time. I know we've all been there. Our parents have said something like, you need to change your behavior or help around the house more. And as a teenager, you just say, Mom is just asking me all of these questions all the time. It's annoying. This would be brushing someone off. You're not taking what they say seriously. You're not really listening. However, you can also use brush off in a positive way. So if something bad happens in your life, it doesn't have to be terrible, but maybe you're trying to rent a new home and the landlord has turned around and said, no, you can't rent this home. Or maybe you applied for a new job and you didn't get it. Or maybe your English teacher gave you bad feedback and said you're not doing very well. You might say, I got this bad feedback on the weekend, or this bad thing happened to me on the weekend, but it's fine, I'll brush it off. Meaning, I won't take it too seriously, I won't pay too much attention to it, I'll just kind of brush it away, not think about it. Not let it affect my day or my week. Now, the next one, to get up, to get up. You're going to need this one because not only does this mean to get out of your chair or where you are sitting, to get up from a seated position. So get up from the floor if you are sitting on the floor. Get up from the chair if you are sitting in a chair. Would you mind getting up a minute? I want to, measure your height. I can't think of an example where somebody would need to ask you to get up. No, I've just thought of one. Now it's very common for workplaces, every morning to get everyone to stand up, stretch, do yoga, do something to start the day. They're very aware that spending all day in front of a laptop is not good for your mental or physical health. So you might say, okay, everybody get up. We're going to try something together, meaning get out of your seat, stand up. But it also means, what time did you get out of bed? So not really waking up. I woke up at 7, but I stayed in bed until 9, and then I finally got up. To get up, or got up, past tense, is to physically remove yourself from your bed. I like weekends because I can get up late. I can get out of my bed later than the weekday. I got up really early this morning so that I could film this video. That's actually not that true. It's 11 a.m. right now, but you see what I mean. It's the actual time you get out of your bed. You stop being sleepy and you start your day. So if I said to you, what time do you get up most mornings? I mean, what time do you start your day? Run out of. Now, I hope I never run out of good ideas for videos for this YouTube channel. I hope you never run out of energy learning from my videos. Can you guess the meaning from those two sentences? So to run out of is to not have something anymore. And typically it means you already had it, but it's running low, and now run out of means it's empty. You don't have it at all. So this can be anything from ink in your pen to energy to complete your day. You can run out of petrol or gas in your car. You can run out of cereal in your home. You can run out of money. You can run out of friends. You can run out of anything that at one point you had and now you do not. And this sounds quite negative, sounds quite sad, but of course you can always get more, buy more, make more friends, find more. I know that for me, when I'm really running out of energy, spending time by myself with no noise, no distractions, just reading a book or being with my dogs, that helps boost my energy. So it doesn't mean you will never have it again. It just means at this point in time, you do not have any of whatever it is you've run out of. Look after. Look after. Now, I like this one a lot because it's a very kind phrasal verb. To look after someone or something is to take care of them. Make sure they are okay. And this doesn't have to be someone that you are responsible for. It doesn't have to be like a nurse looking after their patient or a teacher looking after their students. It can be anything. When you cross the road and you see somebody older than you struggling to cross, struggling to know when to cross the road, and you help them, you could be described as looking after that person, taking care of that person. You may look after your pets. You may look after your children. You may look after your friends and your family. If you are somebody that looks at other people and says, I can help them in this way, I can help them in that way, you could be described as someone that looks after everyone around you. Now, I would love to be described as someone that looks after, takes care of the people around them. Especially in the workplace, if someone described me as a boss that looks after their employees, I would be happy with that. Because when you look after somebody, you make them feel good, you make them feel seen, you make them feel cared for. Come across, or came across, past tense. Now, this is definitely more formal. It's not going to be used in every conversation, but I've included it because it's fantastic for deeper conversations. So if you are someone that likes to talk about the news, politics, society, the environment, economics, finance, whatever it is you enjoy talking about, something you may say, and something that is quite nice and refreshing to say is, I came across something. I came across a study that said, I came across a report that told me, I came across an article that I found interesting. It just means to find something. But instead of saying, I found an article that was really interesting, I came across an article that was very interesting and I want to tell you about it. It's a very nice, educated phrase. I often use this with my students. I will say something like, I came across this article on the weekend that I thought you would find interesting. Let's discuss it next lesson. Or sometimes my students say to me, I came across something I didn't understand at work. Could you help me? Of course I can. It's a very nice phrase to use. And the final one today is the complete opposite of grow apart. So I've ended this in quite a nice way, to get along, to get along. So if you say, I get along well with my brother, I get along well with my colleagues, I get along really well with my neighbor. This just means you have a good relationship, a friendly relationship, but a good relationship. And likewise, if you do not get along well with someone, it means you do not have a good relationship. I don't get along with my teacher. My children don't really get along. They don't like each other or act like they don't like each other. I just started a new job and I don't really get along with my colleagues, but I'm hoping it improves the longer I work there. So what did you think of today's 10 phrasal verbs for everyday conversation? Are there any there that you already use? Are there any there that are new for you? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something, and I will see you in our next one. Have a fantastic week. Bye bye.